It's been almost 2 years since reporter Ronan Farrow broke the Harvey Weinstein story. And for those 2 years, NBC's Andy Lack and Noah Oppenheim have denied any wrongdoing. We had nothing to do with it, they said, despite overwhelming evidence that has mounted year by year that they killed that story. Now, the on-air talent over there at NBC appear to be so angry they can no longer contain themselves. Just last week, Chris Hayes on the air suggested that Lack and Oppenheim's denials are not credible. Chris Hayes is the guy who's opposite us at 8 o'clock. Now, Rachel Maddow, who's got the 9 p.m. show on MSNBC, has joined the revolt. On Friday, she announced that she had independently confirmed Farrow's chief allegation against NBC. Watch this.
Accusations that people in positions of authority in this building may have been complicit in some way in shielding those guys from accountability. Those accusations are very, very hard to stomach. As to whether or not Ronan Farrow was told to hit pause on any new reporting at a time when NBC didn't think there was enough to go to air with, we have independently confirmed that NBC News did that did happen. He was told to pause his reporting.
Elizabeth Wagmeister is senior correspondent for Variety, and she joins us. Elizabeth, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It seems like this would be the beginning rather than the end of the conversation. There's Rachel Maddow, who's probably the most prominent female anchor at that company, saying, yes, it's true, our company covered up for Harvey Weinstein. How can that be the end of it?
It can't be, and this is a big deal that Rachel Maddow, she went on her show. She not just spoke about this whole saga and spoke about her network live on air. She spent and dedicated 3 segments to it and then brought Ronan Farrow on the air, who we know has not really appeared much on NBC's air.
Right.
He said that they don't want him there. So this cannot be the end of it. The fact that she came out here with guns a-blazing and spoke out against her bosses, she very much told her viewers what the climate is like at that building. I mean, that's a huge deal. It's pretty much unheard of for anchors to go on and report about their networks on the air. We've seen that happen in numerous networks throughout the Me Too movement. But for Rachel Maddow to do this, she is the most prominent anchor. That's a big deal. But she also knows that she's safe there. She has their top rating. She can't be fired. So this is quite a statement, not just for her to do, but really for her staff. When I saw this, I thought to myself, Rachel Maddow knows what her staff is feeling. They're angry. They're confused. They're quite possibly living in a climate of fear. That's what I've heard from sources. She's doing this. She's really speaking for her staff as well.
So, but it's not a mystery as to how this happened or who did it. Noah Oppenheim did it. Andy Lack did it. Particularly Noah Oppenheim, though, is the head of the news division over there, shielded Harvey Weinstein. So my question is, you know, you've got non-crazy people at the helm higher up. You've got Brian Roberts at Comcast. You know, everyone says is a decent person. You've got Steve Burke, who's the CEO of NBC Universal. Why has no one asked them what they think of this and why they're continuing to employ these guys?
Well, you know, Comcast, they have stood by Noah. They've stood by Andy Lack. They've stood by NBC News. You recall, Tucker, because I was on your show when I broke the story at Variety with the Matt Lauer allegations 2 years ago in 2017, that NBC News at that time, they released a statement that said, we knew nothing about Lauer. We found out about the allegations. A woman came to HR. Now we know that woman was Brooke Nevels. And we fired him within 24 hours. They've been saying the same thing. They've been singing the same tune for 2 years. It's hard now to backtrack and say, oh, just kidding. What we said for 2 years actually isn't the truth.
How about Oppenheim is profiting from, you know, hawking products on the air and is selling screenplays to Hollywood while he's supposed to be running a news division? I mean, is there kind of anything he can do that's too much?
You know, that has obviously been a complaint. People have pointed out that he was the screenwriter of Jackie. And, of course, there's been rumors, and Ronan Farrow has alluded to this, is that why he was kind of in bed with Harvey Weinstein? Now, that has been denied. And Comcast, you know, they have released statements in support of them. So they seem to be sticking by their bosses. I think that's why we see Chris Hayes. I think that's why we see Rachel Maddow going on air, because they're having a similar reaction to you and many of their viewers, I'm sure, who are going, how does this make much sense?
Well, it's not a close call. And if you're Brian Roberts and you're on the treadmill and all of a sudden you look up and this is happening, you're thinking, what Why do I need this? You know? I don't know.
Well, I think that's exactly
Apparently
why
doesn't
Rachel
think that.
Maddow said that, because look, she knows that she's fine. She knows with those ratings that she will be protected. And I think that, quite frankly, she's pissed off. She's probably saying to herself, this doesn't make sense. I want answers. I've been confused. Give me answers.
Well,
That's
yeah,
why she did
because
it.
it reflects poorly of everyone who works there, obviously. Elizabeth, thank you so much for that. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, Tucker.
Well, a former member of a throuple has now become a former member of Congress. An update on the Katie Hill sex story, which was pretty amazing while it lasted. Stay tuned.